'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even an angron. The stockings were hung by Vulcan with care, in the hopes that Horus soon would be there. I'll just have to turn that into a full fucking poem at some point. Prince of Epirus here. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and children. This is World Cup time. World Cup time! As I often say to my kid. So this week I play WetSpam from South Africa. As always, gentleman, a scholar. We're beginning to understand the difficulties of sort of matching things up, especially over the Christmas season, and of course with time zones. But we got there, and boy is it fun. Mainly because yay! So I'll show all three. We did that one for fun, and boy is it a doozy. But here are my Tour 2 World Cup games. So I actually did quite a bit of practicing against Kelbor because Kelbor scares me. Which apparently, given our chemistry, was the wrong one to practice against. So yeah, this one's quite a close one. I think perhaps I need to side deck a little bit better. I didn't tech in sort of as much early stealth hate as I possibly should have done, which, as you'll see, causes me problems throughout this game. Oh, but that's the British way, isn't it? A stubbornness to give in and a sheer willingness to be flexible will see us through. He gets like so much cleave in this game, it's brutal. Yeah, so Melg's a really useful tool against the Kelbor. Unfortunately, obviously, only one of them, but just that it slows down that ramping up of absolute nonsense, it's super relevant. So really my strategy here was just to draw into as much of my deck as possible. Like because what I need to keep up against Kelbor is just constant like answers, because he just pulls off shit like this. And obviously being quite, an understandably troop heavy deck, you can just keep throwing out chunky little, thingamybobs that causes frustration. So I'm trying to get through my deck as quickly as possible to help me out. What I try to do is I do try to keep on top of like what is being played in terms of like his modifications, his mechadendrites, but I by this point I've lost count, which is perhaps a little embarrassing. Yeah, I put in Chondons. There's just a bit too much stealth hate for me to justify Philesians at the moment. Not my idea, that was someone, one of the lodges, I can't remember who pointed that out. Monster Pythos still stays though, because it's just brutal. Like, regardless of if they've got stealth hate, they'll have to use 2 cards to kill it, or they'll have to take face damage, generally. I swear I had like 4 of those in play. Obviously he doesn't, but it really felt like it. I wonder if Kelbor how controlling my board is the right play. I don't know. I mean, I guess Crow would be the expert on that, but I wonder if he just focused all of his attention on me. If this had been a different outcome. Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I specifically kept my outflank back for this because I really hate this card. Although spot on to him for not dumping it all onto the Merrics. I think this was potentially misplay as well, so he didn't attack here, and I know it's because he wants to keep it alive, but as you're going to see in a minute, I get rid of it, and that's 6 damage and 2 cards that haven't necessarily seen the best use. Especially playing Horus, you'd expect 4 damage to be available in burn. So you get to manifest out at this point. I'm like, ah! What do I do here? Yeah, bodies, bodies, bodies. That's frustrating. So obviously I'm not looking particularly happy at this point. Well, obviously that gives me the game. Like, I'd like to say it was a top deck. And it obviously is a top deck, but I worked hard to draw into that. I drew a lot of cards. But that was tight. I think if I hadn't got that, then when it did, I would have been down for the count. So, game 1 goes to me. Game 2, bit of Saul. But obviously that's a lovely combination.
For honor.
So I put in Tiberilons, and
There's no turning back.
I obviously didn't see the most use out of them, but I do think that they're worth putting in a Saul deck. Bit of a risk with supply lines, but I guess even if you spend 3 NG for them, you're still getting Tiberilons for 1 NG. But like, obviously, turn 1, nothing to be shy about. The Judicious squad, I think, were my MVPs for this game. Like, they just did a lot of work. Which is interesting because normally I find it quite difficult to get much use out of them. But perhaps the nature of Kelbor Howl playing lots of small power creatures, like, really mattered, I think. Yeah, I'd like a turn 3 stud Aeron. Especially against Kelbor Howl, these guys are valuable. Critters with corn! Critters with corn and shield! Yeah, that wasn't ideal. Oh. So yeah, it's just a big sort of game of board control, really. Unfortunately for Kelbor, Saul's relatively good at that once he's got a Sardaron out. So I wonder if playing in a Dover car there would have been better. I don't really know.
Rust never sleeps.
Unfortunately for him, at this point I've got lethal. Michaelis! There we go, we have it. We did play a third game for the lulz, and wow, yeah, no, what's this? He said afterwards, I should have opened with bingo. Bingo? Should have opened with bingo. Yeah, that would have fucked me in the teeth. The only issue we would have had is that he still would have had to fight me with Kelbor, and I just don't think Kelbor has a good matchup against Horus and Saul. But, again, Crow's welcome to disagree with me. Yeah, this just goes horribly wrong for me. Yes, sweetie. Well, yeah, I'm just finishing off. Will do. Like, I have a really good start. You can't go wrong with like a turn 2 Agnomen. Just the nonsense that he pulls out in this deck is amazing. Oh. This is where it all starts to go wrong, really. So there's a secret order on the Joker. I'm really hoping that it's the one where someone comes into play, it deals damage to them because I've got Sardaron. And he gets out these two guys out on me, which is just rude. So I'm really not looking happy. So I do a bit of deduction here. So I play Sardaron and this doesn't trigger, which is bad. And then I end the turn and it doesn't trigger, which means basically if I attack with that guy now, he will swing at me and I really can't afford that. So as you see, I'm in lots of trouble. It does the same to Sardaron. It's like, oh no, this isn't good at all. I mean, it's stunned, so it's sort of taking the choice of attacking away from me, but that's fine, as you'll see in a minute. I mean, I've got a really lovely board. It's just awful. It's just such a perfect game. I love it. Look at that, just the board is stunned, and then I draw, and these little fuckers kill me. Et tu, Brute? Yeah, so That was daft. A bit of Christmas fun. Oh, so yeah. Horus has returned on his Santa sleigh. You know. So tour 2. Hopefully, it's currently 1-1 South Africa versus England. So Steve's playing a dude soon, and it will hopefully be resolved. France have come out strong. They're like on 6 points. Bloody Frenchies. So we see them in the last round. I'm really looking forward to my game. My game is Blanquette. Don't know who that is, but it'll be fun. Tarty buys.